one in the building.
All right. Welcome back to another edition of Only Pipeline in the Building. You are once again looking at two gentlemen in the same webinar. One's from marketing and one is from sales and sales development. My name is Sean Hector. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, and I think we just keep getting better and better. With me, I have a co-host, Yuval.
Thank you. What a lovely intro. We're really getting getting a hang of this.
I think so.
Yes. Sean, you've been in marketing. You've been in sales. I've been in marketing for the past 8 years. And like always, we're going to talk about B2B sales and marketing issues and different aspects of it. Today's episode is going to be dedicated to 2026 trends and focus areas we think people should care about from a marketing and sales perspective. Kick us off with something you have like top of mind for 2026 goals and initiatives.
Yeah, I certainly can. And Yuval, to your point, I mean, as I said, we've been doing this a few weeks. We've been getting some feedback. We need a little bit more structure. That's what we're doing. And so we definitely took some time before getting into this session to map out what we were going to say. And I think what's relevant as well is as we go along, we're figuring out who our audience is, who cares, who's actually listening, and who this will benefit. So this is an ongoing experience, and I think that the best way to approach this, or at least for today's session, is to look ahead to 2026, try to give some insight and some understanding of some upcoming trends in sales and marketing. And so I think we're each going to do 2 trends a piece today, and I will kick us off. And so the first topic that we're going to talk about is ultimately becoming fluent in LLM or large language model programming and starting to think about how everything you can do can flow through an LLM. And I'll just explain that point a little bit. Right. And so, Yuval, you and I have talked at length about what a BDR or SDR's role is going to be in the future and sales more broadly. Right. And as an extension of that, I have to understand what my role is going to be as a director of sales, for the next 4 years. Right. This AI wave is coming very much at the, early stages of our career. And so, if you look 40 years from now, things are going to look a lot different by the time we leave the workforce. And so it really seems that over time, right, there's become this higher and higher level of kind of like orchestration, right, that I learned from Sixth Sense. That you have to become a master of, right, in terms of a go-to-market motion, right, from marketing all the way down to sales, right, because more and more tools, softwares, what have you, are coming into the space and saying this is how you can prospect it more effectively. You can use these signals to do that. You can use AI to do this. It's just a big wide world of what's going on out there. And really to cut through the noise, right? What I've been trying to do is to reskill myself to understand LLM programming, right? And, I'll take an example of Spara, which I've talked about a couple of times so far on this podcast, which is kind of this AI chatbot sitting on our website that also sends follow-up emails using. And so I am going into the programming and changing the tone, changing the responses, changing how the AI actually treats certain questions and understands that. So I'm learning how to really program that LLM, and I get to see it in real time. And it's not something I've ever done before in terms of programming a software, because it's all just like I don't know that information. How am I supposed to know? Right. So it's a really exciting time for me.
It sounds exciting. And I want to ask you if, because for me, this could lean 2 ways. It could lean towards, the more programming part and how to really multiply your current power. And there's the other way of leaning into sales, right? When you're planning forward, you can say, all right, I'm a salesperson. I'm perfecting my people skills. I'm perfecting my sales pitch. I'm perfecting perfecting sales, the sales portion of the job, and not the development part of the job, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So why are you leaning towards the LLM building and less towards how to do sales more efficiently?
Well, so yeah, so it's a great question, and so there's a division, right? Like ultimately, I think you and I are aligned on that. Like as an account executive, when you're actually selling to people in a demonstration environment, for the most part, right, people want that peer-to-peer experience. But even to that point, we are starting to review softwares that, as a demo is going on, can listen to what's happening and refer, for example, like relevant content or relevant talking points, right, as the demonstration is happening, right? So I'm not necessarily there just yet, but I am focusing on the top of the funnel because more than anything, and this will continue to be a theme today as well as in future podcasts, is that inbound and outbound pipeline generation is fundamentally transforming, right? Like it is not your grandmother's inbound, sales development machine anymore. And I think it's a bit of a gold rush right now because no one really knows what it looks like on the other side of the transformation that we're going through right now. And I think what I can ultimately see happening is that how like all these tools are all consolidating their feature sets, right? Like every single software that's sold to sales has a cadencing feature now. Every single software has a call recording or AI intelligence feature, right? Maybe a dialer, what have you, right? And so everybody is converging into the space to ultimately say like we should be your one-stop shop to like for your entire sales motion. And so ultimately we're going to see a lot of consolidation next year, but I think like if we really tried to cut through the noise, you have to think about like, let's say that there's a world where all these softwares sit apart, right? I want to be able to orchestrate the go-to-market motion through the LLM, right? And to highlight the various inputs for everything that I'm trying to do through a central, I don't know, like warehouse, right? Or like computer that says, okay, anytime something like this happens, right? Then this happens, right? So I'm going to try to take that on as we move into the new year. I'm trying to think about all these disparate inputs, threading them through an LLM, through Zapier or whatever else integration software, and really trying to coordinate my 2026 motion through an LLM.
Yeah, that's smart, man. I think a lot of people are experiencing the same kind of problems and expectations to less with more, right?
Yeah, and
More with less, sorry.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, more with less. Yeah. And I think, if anyone's looking for a place to start, right? Maybe you haven't taken on software that you can start doing this with. Like, chances are your tech company itself is already using an LLM somewhere within your business or developing its own LLM. So speak with your developers and try to get some learnings on how to program an LLM. So that would be my first recommendation for next year. And continuing along that topic, Yuval, I think you wanted to talk about AI optimization. So please.
Yes, I think I spoke about it for most of the last episodes because it's a huge topic in marketing at the moment. I was in a marketing get together last week for different demand gen and growth B2B leaders from different sides of organizations. And my trends for 2026, they're also coming from this focus group, let's say. And one of the key parts that was discussed there, how do you optimize your content for AI visibility and how to make sure that AI picks up on your content when it's being asked questions around the industry, the topic, the vertical you want to be known for.
Mm.
So I think there are different ways to take a look at it. But my point is short here. You need to stand out, right? And I think you can find it anywhere. Maybe I'll speak about it in a future episode about what AI tools like in terms of content and content structure.
Hmm.
But if we're looking at the two most important things, one is to own a unique information, meaning if you're just citing different sources that did the job for you, then you're not really providing any new information for LLM models. And
Interesting.
the second, and the second one is about being unique. So it can be an information that was created, I don't know, a year ago or a few months ago by a different company, but then you are really providing your own point of view, or you are putting this in a new format. For an example, if we're looking about, I don't know, we're looking at a report that was made around um, AI adoption, right? Something that my company does. Reiterating the same points from the report is not that important, but taking a bite out of it and making a course out of it, or making unique thought leadership around the same topic, just breaking it down to our approach to this topic, then it really provides a uniqueness to what we do. And you can think about it from a video perspective. By the way, AI tools also pick up on video assets and scripts. So it can use as a source your YouTube videos, right? It's happening at the moment. So imagine that you can take information, just change the format a little bit or have something unique about it. And then it's really going to be the focus. And in that sense, it's like old marketing, right? Old marketing is just be unique, just be yourself, just have a smart point of view, and you can go ahead.
So I wonder, like, I think you and I have touched on a piece of this previously. I don't know if you had an answer at the time, but I wonder if maybe now you do. But so let's say my company, Customer Gauge, really focuses on producing really unique content across, LinkedIn videos and thought leadership on the website. I'm curious how you get your company, for example, to be maybe not ranked number one in the LLM results, right? Of number one CX software, or like, if by making it unique, how do you ensure that it's seen by the LLM? Like, what's the trigger there for the LLM?
Pick up on your content.
Yeah.
So you're asking two different questions, because one thing is to be picked, meaning that the AI and AI agents will scan your website. It actually happens, and you can really track it by tracking the bots on your website. It has a very unique bot. You can really tell how many
Really?
LLMs have visited you. Yeah,
I
100.
don't think I knew that. Tell me more.
I can show you that in the next
Yeah.
session, but you can actually tell that. So you can see which content was picked up by AI and then try to duplicate the same format or the same structure. So it'll be picked up. It needs to be it needs to be open, meaning the crawlers of the different search engines, like it's been with SEO for years. Crawlers from Google scanning the website, when they picked up on some keyword, then it decides where does it go in the long list of Google results. Same same thing goes here, and a lot of the practices are pretty much the same. The user behavior has changed, right? People are talking more to LLMs than to Google. What used to be like a lot of questions through Google is now just a thread you have with your favorite LLM. So that's how you see how they visit the website.
Interesting. Yeah, I had this thought the other day where I've started recently using Gemini from the Google search results, right? And I feel like with very quickly, let's say within the next 2 years, the typical URL based Google search result is going to go away. It's just going to be interacting with Gemini, who will then return search results for you. So I feel like the old format of searching through the web is going to quickly disappear.
Yeah, it was mentioned in the conversation I was talking about,
Yeah.
that the behavior is changing, and now marketers need to prep their website not just for users but also for bots. You need to optimize it
Hmm.
as if the bot is making the decision for the person. So think about a website that used to be optimized for user behavior, right? I want the user to click here and then go to this form or to this interactive experience and really build everything around it. You kind of switching it to all right, I just need to make sure that in my listing, there's all the right details and all the right steps. So the AI that's picking up on this information will present the right information to the end user for Gemini or Perplexity or ChatGPT.
How much are you charging for this information? Because I want it.
For you, it's a free consultancy now, but it's something that everyone can do. And if it's interesting, maybe we can dedicate an
Yeah.
episode just to show people how to see this information.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I
Yeah.
would be interested. Okay. I have a second trend to talk about. And actually, I was going to share something else, but just from what you were talking about today, I thought of something that was interesting because I haven't experimented with this myself, but there's quickly going to become, I feel, a market when you're prospecting someone. It doesn't matter if it's inbound or outbound, but to use AI tools like Sora, right? Like video creation, like song creation. I don't know what else is out there, right? But like this super unique approach to prospecting your folks, your prospects. And the reason I bring it up is this past week, my former CRO at Sysate, Damien Saunders, actually sent me a video of his BDR that sent an AI generated Christmas jingle, right? Christmas carol, right, to their prospect. And I think that's been around for, a little while now, but the fact that that could become more commonplace over time is really interesting to me. And the thing is, in my mind, there's a balance between, this person used AI and they didn't put any effort into this, or this person used AI and I actually appreciate their creativity here. Or like you can actually tell that there was some spark of an idea to get my attention moving forward. Right. And so I haven't received an email like this, but I can only imagine a world where, we're creating AI videos of the prospects doing crazy things. Maybe that, they look like Drake or we look like
Yeah.
Drake and we're singing to them or something, it's crazy.
Yeah, you can kind of play with it. It's I think it's touching the same point about the need to be unique
Mm-hmm.
because it's noisy. And when it's noisy, you need to stand out in some way.
Yeah.
And if your way to stand out is through AI generated videos, amazing. Then become the best at it and include the prospect's face, celebrating after purchasing your product and caroling throughout their favorite city, right? I don't know. You can create that with ease now.
Yeah. There's also, this is an AI based, but to the point of like uniqueness and creativity, I saw several companies doing Labubu marathons a few weeks ago. Did you hear
What is
about that?
Lapupo?
You don't, okay. Number one, there's going to be a bunch of people who know what a Labubu is listening to this. The fact that you don't know is a good thing. And like, you don't need to know. It's just like a little plushie that caught on or from Hong Kong or something. It's really ugly. Sorry to everyone that loves Labubus. But basically, some sales leaders I saw were posting about running a marathon within their city. And every kilometer they would stop at a office of a prospect and they would give them a Labubu, basically. Right. Again,
Okay.
I don't know
It's it
why people
sounds
care about Labubus, but again, this creativity is going to play a huge part into next year. So my recommendation, AI driven or not, stay light on your toes, iterate, test and try. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't stay on something too long if it's not working, and just keep moving. As I was beginning, this whole new world, we are just at the beginning of this transformation. Things will look a lot different on the other side. And so everybody that's in the workforce today gets to decide what this transformation actually looks like and what will be. Right. So you and I, we're going to play a part in what we do in terms of determining what works and what doesn't.
yeah, and let's hope we are creative as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know. Only 2026 will tell.
Only 2026 it will be a much different conversation for us to have this same thing next year, Sunday, November 30th, 2026. It's going to be different, man. A lot of
Yeah.
learnings.
Yeah. I wonder how. Some things change and some things I guess stay the same in terms of challenges facing next year. And what I'm hearing from a lot of my colleagues now planning for 2026 is about getting this internal buy-in to their projects and to make sure that they are fully aligned with where the business wants to go. And I think this is a recommendation for both marketing and sales coming for up to 2026 is the approach should stay the same and you need to understand your buyer. So it's easy for us a lot of times to understand the audience, right? We're selling to L&D people, we're selling to HR people, we're selling to IT people. We know the audience, we know what their problems are, and we're good at selling it. This is why we're in the business. But a lot of times we fail in getting this internal buy-in. Suddenly you need to get a buy-in from the CFO because you need to approve budget to a new LLM tool or automation, or you need to approve budget for a new marketing campaign you want to launch. So it's where you really need to keep looking at things from a business case perspective. And
Yep.
also the tip I give here is to interview your internal stakeholders. Same way you interview your prospects. You go into the CFO, what problem are you trying to solve for in 2026? Because if your goals are not aligned with what your stakeholders' challenges, right? I've been told not to use the word problem. It's always challenges,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
So what are his or her challenges and how are you solving for it? Because if you're not solving the CEO's problems or the company's problems, then you're just solving for something that's fun for you to do.
That's a good point. And for anyone that is actually listening and watching this podcast on Spotify, you may have noted that I myself was writing down some notes as you've all talked, because I wanted this to be clear that this is not only an opportunity for us to teach other people, but I'm also learning from Yuval. I hope he learns from me. I don't know. But to this whole theme about, what I just said about test, try, iterate, stay light on your toes, right? Like I wrote down like, okay, I want to speak to my boss. I want to make sure that I can have budget allocated to test the things that I want to do. Of course, I'll say to him, I'll validate everything with the business case, and to Yuval's point, interview the internal stakeholders to make sure that what I'm doing is worthwhile. But like, this is really good. It's really good stuff, man. Yeah, I'm going to go and do this week.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. It's the best time to have this type of conversations. We are recording this end of November. It'll be released early December. But I think this late November, early December, it's when your stakeholders already know their big rocks for next year. So now having this conversation is crucial.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. All right. Well, Yuval, those were our 4 trends for 2026. Not to say that is all inclusive, but we may come back in another podcast to further elucidate some of those points. But that should give people a good idea of how we're thinking about 2026. So I think we also want to be consistent about how we end this podcast and have a weekly segment, right, that people can come back to. So we're gonna move forward with an unpopular opinion of the week, because I love being contentious and I love getting people angry in the comments. So shall I start or shall you?
Yeah, you can kick us off. We decided on one we're gonna tackle this week, and I'm curious to know what people listening to this will tell us about it.
Okay. So let me phrase this with the easiest unpopular opinion to share is one that's probably not very unpopular at the end of the day. But I'm going to go ahead and share this anyway, because I think this opinion could help kind of fortify the need for this in people's minds as they go forward to 2026. And I think that the biggest thing is, like, over this past year, I noticed, like, our old company, my company, others, many companies out there struggled with inbound lead generation this year, right? Like, I've seen inbound lead generation crater by 50% as a result of this year. And that was because, like, a lot of these companies have constructed this inbound lead generation engine over years and years and years. And they got to a point that was really mature, really capable, and able to consistently produce, either through let's say, constant ad spend or a customer gauges spot, like really good content development and thought leadership. But as we've talked about before, AI created these results, and it left a lot of CMOs, sales development guys like me, like left looking around being like, what the hell? Like, what am I supposed to do in order to figure this out? Right. And I think that large part, let's say first half, 2/3 of the year, we're really seeing that impact. And over the last half and last third, people have started to try new strategies to develop those leads. But if anyone is asking, here's the unpopular opinion. If
Yeah.
anyone is out there saying, F inbound, we're going to move on, we're going to be an outbound first organization, that's how we're going to get our bread and butter. In my mind, that's wrong. Okay. I think that an outbound motion is a really good complement to a solid, stable, consistent inbound engine. Right. And just because the level of investment, the way you invest, and where you invest has changed over this past year, this is your opportunity to figure it the hell out, right? And not to move investment away from inbound, but like put the time in to understand how you're going to be successful in the new environment, because you can be. I promise there will be a silver lining, right, as we move forward into next year and years beyond. But to dedicate purely all of your resources and investment over to outbound is not the right play. So first, think
So
about how you can transform your inbound engine for 2026 before you take another look at an outbound motion.
you heard it first here. Inbound is not dead.
It's just different.
It's just different. Right.
Yeah. So buck up, figure it out, spend some money, test and try, stay light on your toes, and inbound will work again, I promise.
Sean, promise, if inbound fails for you, please reach out to Sean at
Yes.
sean.hector.com.
No, it's only pipeline in the building at gmail.com. I'll take all of your questions and answers. That's real, actually. If you do want to send questions, you can send it there.
Amazing. It's been a pleasure this week, Sean. And we haven't even spoke about the fact we are in fun stages of reaching out to your bachelor party, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Palma.
Yes.
It's in Spain. So if you listen to this podcast and you got this far, then you're also invited to Sean's bachelor party in
I'll
Palma
see
de
you in
Mallorca.
Mallorca 2026.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a pleasure, and thank you for listening to this. And we will see you or hear from you or read your comments next week. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah. Thank you, Yuval. Have a great week, buddy.
Only pipeline in the building.